Can you tell me about your organization,
The Link? Yep, I work for The Link, and we are a nonprofit youth service provider. So we have 19 different programs across 3 different divisions that provide youth with intensive case management. We meet a lot of basic needs. Some of our programs provide housing, some provide school intervention. We work with youth who've been trafficked, but the base of all of it is really like a trauma-informed management, helping you be able to get their needs met and attend school, have the right therapies and awareness raising.
How many volunteers do you staff?
I would say we have over 200 volunteers that come to us on their own, and then we work with all kinds of corporations.
Okay.
And so they have volunteers who come in who are working on site at their business, who come for a one-time event, or they come every few months for an event that we would host at their employers. For example, during the Super Bowl, our executive director did training for all 10,000 Crew 52 volunteers.
Yeah, I was actually one of those.
Yep. So she did all of that. So we train different volunteer groups like that. We're doing training with Mall of America for their staff right now. So we do some stuff like that where it's not necessarily our volunteers, but it might be other groups' volunteers or employers too. We talk a lot about the average age of a trafficking victim is 13, and even then, usually the youth that we work with have been victimized since they were babies, since they were really little children. Minneapolis happens to be in the top 13 states of, and the Twin Cities in general is a hub. And so I talk to volunteers and donors a lot, and what I will say to them all the time is that we know who's victimizing and we know who the victims are, and it's figuring out how to end the demand. And that's not what we do. So we really do it. We're working with youth on the other end, and when it's already happened. And we also have our I Am Crisis campaign, so we're working to educate youth before they become victims, and like to find them where they are and let them know that they're priceless and they don't, like, this doesn't have to be their path. When I'm talking to people, I'm telling them about the average age, and I'm telling them about the young people that we're working with and what's happened to them in their lives. And then about our needs, like the need for help and support around providing case management and support for these youth who've experienced the highest levels of trauma.
I've read some of your stuff online about the different programs you offer. It's phenomenal, like the housing and the juvenile justice programs.
Yep.
Can you expand a little bit more on those?
I can, yep. So in our juvenile justice division, we have a program that's for truant youth. So we see youth who have failed out of most other truancy programs, and we work with them to get them back engaged in school. We provide case management. We do activities here out of this space. We work with high-level offenders, both male and female. We have 2 male offender programs, and those are our evening reporting centers. So we serve youth in those programs during out of school time. So they come to us after school and then on Saturdays, alternative to detention. So instead of going to the detention center and being detained, we work with them. We provide case management. We make sure they have meals. We figure out some different social service interventions instead of just sending them to the detention center. We also have a female program that's similar, and that's our POWER program. And we serve high-level female offenders in that program. And again, these are all youth. So these programs happen to be 18 and under.
Okay.
Or really under 18. And then we have our Juvenile Supervision Center, which serves low-level offenders. So if you were picked up on a truancy or a petty offense or car theft, you can be brought to the Juvenile Supervision Center, which is in City Hall, and then we try to intervene with case management. So we find out why you are out in the middle of the night, what's going on at home. Do you need food? Do you need health care? Do you need engagement in school? What can we do as case managers to make sure that you're not out again in the middle of the night? And then we provide all kinds of services around that and connections to resources in the community to try to prevent further crimes from being committed. Then we have our housing division, and we have many different housing programs. We have permanent supportive housing, which is in a building, so an apartment building with 24 units, or Lindquist Apartments, and that's a permanent program, so youth can stay there as long as they need to. We go through age 24, so if they're approaching 24, we're working on an exit plan into either another supportive housing program or into their own apartment, whatever that looks like. Then we have all kinds of scattered site programming. So we have youth who live in market rate apartments, and we're subsidizing their apartments and providing case management and, again, connections to other services. And those are all around the metro. We have all housing in all 7 counties. We can serve youth out of any of the 7 counties. So we can sort of serve them and see like what they need and then provide the services. And if they're living in a certain community, we try to make sure they can stay there and find housing resources that they need. And then we also have some parent support things. So we have a young families program so that our young families can get the resources they need. And we have early childhood programming so they can get assessed and we can find out they do ages and stages. We can find out if they're meeting their different sort of requirements by age. And if they're not, we can provide interventions. We are able to give them some resources for food and different needs. And then we have our Safe Harbor division. So we have a sex trafficking division that has housing, shelter, outreach, mobile case managers. We provide the regional navigator position. So she's someone who would get phone calls at any given time for a youth that's found being trafficked. And then can respond by showing up there or going to wherever the site is. We're really busy. We do a lot. I felt like that was a really quick summary, but I mean, we have 19 programs. We have 170 staff. We have a lot of youth staff. So something that makes us really unique here is that we hire youth on youth advisory boards to help create and oversee all of our programming. Oh, wow. So if we're going to open a new program, we work with youth who have lived experience around whatever the type of programming is that we're creating. And we work with them to create rules, policies, the look of a program, the location, and then to hire staff. So they sit in interviews and help us hire our staff. They create all of our rules and policies and really work with us to even create our strategic plans here. And then we also hire staffing positions like our front desk. So we're able to offer some employment opportunities as well.
That's really
to
nice.
The advisory boards that really help us do our jobs better.
I'm sure it helps too that like to have youth that have been through this and then
I mean, it's better than us creating our programs for them and saying this is how it should be when we have no idea.
Do you like the ones that have been through the program, like kind of mentor the ones that are going through the program, or how's that work?
So we don't necessarily do that, but they help create what the programming looks like for those youth. So while our case managers are providing the programming, our youth have sort of defined what that looks like. So if our program is specific to LGBTQ youth, we've had a whole committee of youth creating what that looks like, and then also telling us like what we could use in the future if we get more funding, what it would look like, and what the needs are for youth in their same experiences. So it helps us do our jobs much better because otherwise we're just adults creating programming for youth and we have zero idea of what they really need.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you think some of these issues are being fully addressed?
I mean, we wouldn't be in business if they were being fully addressed, right?
Sure.
So the link wouldn't exist and we wouldn't be serving over 2,000 youth a year if our community as a whole was addressing these needs and meeting them as a community. So I would say no. I think we're working on it. I mean, we're at the Capitol all the time with youth who are doing different things and speaking and representing youth who are in similar situations. And we're there for Homeless Day on the Hill and we're advocating as much as we can. But I don't think you can overcome chronic poverty and systemic racism in just one program providing services. So I think there's definitely a lot to be done as a state and as a country before we've dealt with these issues as a whole.
What's something that like the community, not necessarily the community that's around here, but in all the United States, the state of Minnesota, adults, what?
I mean, there's definitely some government-based things that need to happen, and I tell people all the time, write your legislators, call. Like, we have to all advocate if we're going to make any change. what the average person can do besides that, which I think everybody should be involved in their government. They're representing your thoughts and the way your money is spent, and the way that people in your community are treated. So I feel like we should be doing a lot to speak out. But I know people want to do other things too. And so we have a really robust volunteer program. And we say all the time, like, we actually need our volunteers to be mini me. They need to be me, and they're out in the community talking about the work that we're doing, telling their friends, getting them involved, educating people. If you hear someone say something that isn't true or you know isn't true from the volunteer work that you've done or the training that you've done, educate, help, call people and get help for youth if you see them who need help, like someone who needs help. I would say sign up to volunteer, do one project somewhere and see if you can make a difference. I would say all of our volunteers make differences. If they're making a Valentine's bag, if they're making meals, if they're doing their birthday on Facebook and collecting $1,000 through our donation tab, like all of those things help. Of course, what we need the most is money to keep our programs running, but all of the other things are options for people, and these programs change lives. So even if we're seeing a cycle and we aren't breaking the cycle necessarily for everyone, we're breaking the cycle for individuals and giving people the opportunity to have a house that they deserve so that they can move on with their lives is really life-changing. It really is. And giving people the case management and having them have someone who cares about them and helps them be able to make change in their life is like unbelievably life-changing for people.
It's really amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great organization to work at. I don't do the youth work because I'm not a youth worker, and I know that I would just bring everyone home and they would be living in my basement, and that's not good for anyone. So don't do it. Nobody should do that. But I work really hard in my job so that we have the funding and the support we need to continue to do the work that we need to do. And we've expanded a lot here. So I started here 4 years ago, and we were about a $3 million organization, and now we're about an $8 million organization. So we've done a lot of expansion because of need. So we expand really strategically in ways that we feel that we are seeing are based on trends and needs in the community. So we won't expand unless we know that it's necessary and that there's youth that we will be serving appropriately with our services.
You said earlier that you like fundraising stuff and business, like, is it business partners or?
I mean, we work with corporate and individuals. I mean, we work with everyone. We have events where corporations are sponsors, where individuals are sponsors, where corporations attend and have tables, where individuals attend with their friends and they come in to support the cause that we're doing, are the needs that we're meeting at that any given event. So there's opportunity for support from everyone, and we need it all. So,
what does you guys like throw like a, not necessarily a party, but like a
gala?
A gala.
Yep,
what does that
April.
look like?
So in April 19th, we have our large event. It's about 250 to 280 people. It's at Aria downtown, and we try to raise, like, our fundraising goals are probably somewhere around 175, and then from that we end up netting about $125,000, $130,000. But again, like I said, 4 years ago, we were a really small organization. So we're just getting to the point where that should be able to double and triple in the near future on how much we're raising. We also have a golf tournament in the summer and a bowling event in the fall, which tend to raise a little bit less, obviously, just based on what they are. But our gala is silent auction, youth entertainment. We give out community awards, a dinner, live auctions. It's a fun event. I look forward to it. It's a ton of work, but it's good.
I know you've only been here 4 years, but from just talking with your coworkers and stuff that maybe have been here longer, have they seen like youth that come out of the program, come back and like help and volunteer or donate?
Since I've been here, we've had youth who have actually like ran into our case managers' places and have been like, just so you know, I was so mad at you back when X, Y, or Z happened and you were my case manager, but I want to tell you that like actually changed my life. And even though I seemed really angry at you at the time, I want to thank you for all of your hard work. It doesn't happen all the time. And it's not because it hasn't, but people are like living their lives now.
Yeah.
And like I've moved
So
on
that's
and like
good.
we're just like a memory in their past. And we just want to be like, we really, our goal is to like leave our youth in their apartments living independently and be like, and just have them live and like work their jobs and go to school and do all of their things and not need us. I mean, that's our goal. We definitely work with youth who will continue to need supportive services for the rest of their lives based on mental and physical health needs.
Mm-hmm.
And then our goal for them is to be in our program, use our services, and then to have them connected to the next services that would fall in line right after us, so that they have a seamless transition to a new provider once they age out of our programming.
But if you said it goes from like 18?
Nope.
The most?
So most of our housing programs go to 24.
Okay.
So then when they're approaching 24, we try to age them out. But what I will say is, well, we have a lot of different housing, and we housed 220 youth last year. Our average length of stay is around 14 months. So usually by then they're like housed and stable and working and going to school or whatever it is, and they don't need us anymore. And we've helped them learn the life skills they need to live independently. So it makes it, I mean, knowing that our average length of stay is really only 14 months,
That's really good.
it's great. Because we do have some youth who need us for 4 and 5 years. So if that's averaging out, like some people need us for just a few months to get housed and like get on their feet. And if you're not housed, it's really hard to think about anything else. All you are thinking about is where you will sleep that night. And you spend your whole day living that way. So once our youth get housed, they have the opportunity to think about other things, get jobs, go to school, like finish what they were doing, learn skills, join things, go to the doctor. I mean, all kinds of things that you don't have the ability to do when you're trying to figure out where you're going to sleep that night.
This is great stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Anything else I can tell you?
You've
I
covered
mean,
a lot.
so if people are interested in helping,
Yeah,
go to our
what are
website.
ways people
Yeah.
can get
So
involved?
if you go to our website, there's a tab on VDOM. Sorry, I feel like it's
That's
gonna
okay.
fall. It's gonna. So there's a tab that has to do with engagement and like being involved. And what I would say is, people can donate dollars. People can like us on Facebook. Like to me, that's one of the first steps. Like us, follow us on Facebook. We are posting something every single day about the work we're doing, our awesome donors, our awesome volunteers, what our executive director is doing, what news story she's on that day, different things that are happening and ways to get involved. So there's always something on our Facebook page. You can also go to our website. And then all kinds of volunteer opportunities under our volunteer tab. And people can sign up for one-time opportunities. We have really easy, like where you can either pay to be involved, or you can sign up for an opportunity where you bring some stuff with and you build kits or make meals or put together things or organize closets. We need help with everything. I mean, people on your video can't see our space, but we have stuff. And we get stuff in and we want to be able to get it out to youth, but we need help organizing it and getting it put in places. We have a baby closet for all of our babies. We get donations in and we don't have the staff power to go put it away. Our case managers are really out working with young moms and dads and their children. And so we look to volunteers to help us do a lot of that stuff. So follow Facebook is my first recommendation. My second is to go to the website and look at the volunteer tab and see what interests you, because there's a lot of opportunities.